these days. These will be good. Welcome to TalkFit. Last week we were here hanging out, told you we had a name. Again, I'm Josh Day. I'm certified CrossFit trainer, general manager of Grand Mesa CrossFit.
I am Rebecca. I am owner of Grand Mesa CrossFit. Still.
Heck yeah. Studying for that certified CrossFit
Yeah,
trainer
for sure.
coming
Yeah,
up.
that's on the schedule. So
it's on the
still
schedule.
waiting to get the approval to get the date set to take that test.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you see my face buried in some PDFs or my laptop, that's like the focus right now. So
yes, yeah. So last week we talked about our origin stories and how we got started with CrossFit. Talked about Fran, people doing it for the first time and stuff. And
yeah, so fast forward, now we are coming to the end of our testing week for this cycle. So we got to see some amazing feats of strength today. We saw bench press first.
Yeah.
Then or was it bench press, then
bench,
the back squat,
deadlift.
And the deadlift. Then funny joke that was made in the last podcast about people visiting Fran and still returning back, and then Josh already had Fran planned for this week. So I don't know how many of y'all were able to do Fran for the very first time.
I think we had several people. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got immediate feedback on that. So don't worry about giving us more feedback. So we got a lot.
We're going to do it next week again. Everyone loved it so much. No, I'm just kidding. We will revisit it though, for sure. But no, I had a few people come up to me and be like, actually, Fran was my very first CrossFit workout this last week. And they're like, I will not see you on Wednesday. That's when we did Fran. And I did not see them on Wednesday. So shame on them.
Armando, I'm sending you a DM next time we see it. Yeah.
I commented on his score for his deadlift today about that. He said he had work calls. So skipped out on Fran. We'll get him back in here for it.
Yeah. Awesome PRs this week.
Yes.
I mean, just that right now, I just can't be more excited with how the vibe is right now.
The energy in this place.
And we talked about in that post a couple of days ago, or was it yesterday? Like, yeah, the lifts were cool, but it was more about the effort and support that were surrounding people that were doing these lifts. And so if you want to follow Misty Schmidt, who comes to 8:30, she just did a really cool post on her deadlift today. So overjoyed about that.
Yeah.
So we'll probably take a week off on for our we'll do some type of deload and then get into our next cycle. So
yeah, looking at next week, Mayhem's jumping into the next cycle already, but I was looking at it's not too heavy. It's kind of a deload, so we'll probably jump in right with that, stay with them on that stuff. The Metcons look good and stuff. We're gonna do some snatch, clean, jerk, overhead stuff, all the good things, all the snappy lifts, the stuff I like.
Powerlifting girl.
And I got the Olympic. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this week's been awesome. Just watching people, the 500-meter row test, that was something I hadn't done before, and I don't want to see that ever again. But just circling up around people, man, this community is amazing. If you're in the area watching us and you haven't come and visited, come check us out, see what this vibe's about. But if you're not, find a gym near you. Lots of CrossFit gyms. That's part of what CrossFit makes CrossFit, right? Is that community, that aspect. It's different. And we're going to kind of talk about what CrossFit is today, because we're really going to talk about scaling, what scaling is, how do we do it, why should we do it, what types of scaling there can be, and things like that. But I think to really understand why we scale, you need to understand what the intention of CrossFit is. And so you want to take the definition of CrossFit, that what is it? This is a test for your test.
The test for my test. So what are we doing here? Movements are constantly very functional movement done at high intensity. Each part of those has a very key component in that definition. So when we say constantly varied, that doesn't mean random. That means we don't have bis and tris day. Today's not specifically leg day or upper body day. I will say every day is pretty much core day though.
Every day.
Expect that. So we don't see specific warm-ups like, oh, we're hitting up sit-ups and it's abs today. You're working abs every day, whether you like it or not. But yeah, we see that random, we see the varied every single day.
It seems random sometimes.
It seems random sometimes, but yeah, there's definitely varied. It's not necessary to shock the systems. It's just that you are able to push adaptations.
Yeah.
Functional movement, the stuff that we see every single day. Okay. We pick stuff off the ground. We pick up our kids. Believe it or not, you snatch, in your everyday life. It's stuff that carries over. So I'm not saying we never do, because with the accessory lifts, but you won't really see us programming this movement very much at the gym. and not hating on bodybuilding. It has its place.
Absolutely.
But it's more of the intent of what we're trying to do here. We're building formidable humans, and to do that, we work stuff that is typical to our everyday life.
Yes.
High intensity. Again, we're pushing the adaptations. You know, it's very different than your conventional gym setting where you know, you're in your own zone, you have your own space, you're moving at your own pace, you do your upload on social media of you doing whatever set. I would say we pack our hours pretty much.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is push that adaptation so that we are improving cardiovascularly, our strength. You know, it's not it is kind of at your own pace, but we're pushing to move mechanically well. Okay, you did that now. Well, let's do that at a little bit higher intensity. Okay, you did that at high intensity. Now let's add some strength to it. Okay, in that order for the longevity. So that's pretty much a quick and dirty of what we do here as far as CrossFit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest part of that constantly varied functional movement executed at high intensity when it comes to scaling is that high intensity part. We'll scale the movements so that we can maintain that intensity, that intent of the workout, that target times and scores as we have it on the screens. That's why we scale, so that we can hit that, because we're not trying to do, some days it's a moderate intensity if that's the target, and some days it's low intensity if we're going for a long run, but that higher intensity is what we're aiming for. And so that's why we always adjust the workouts for us. So when was the last time you scaled a workout?
When was the last time I scaled a workout?
Yeah.
I would say, oh my gosh, your wife didn't let me scale that day that we're supposed to have the 24-inch box jump. But I want to say box. there was a day where, like, I don't know, I was not prepared for a box jump that day. So I did a box step overs that day. I did try to move a little bit faster with that movement. It's just I think that was the last time I scaled. I don't remember when that was. Yeah.
Mine was last Friday. Those hang cleans and the strict
handstand
push-ups.
Yeah.
Those hang cleans are something else that second set. So yeah, I just, you know, we scale too. That was the point of that, really. Yeah. Is like, we're scaling. So stealing a little bit from another podcast I was listening to, I think there's three types, kind of reasons we scale. We've got beginners, injuries, and then for that intensity, that intent of the workout, that stimulus that they're aiming for. So if a beginner came into the gym, what's that scaling look like for them? So I think that's when we first learn about scaling. And I think even more so, we scale so that everybody can do CrossFit, right? Like, everybody can do CrossFit. It's not for everybody because we may not like it, but CrossFit itself, everybody can do it. And I think people that don't want to try it, it's not because they're scared of getting hurt anymore. I think it's because they're scared they cannot do what we're doing that day.
Right. So part of when people join a CrossFit gym is very, again, a unique thing is we take people through intro sessions. We call it roots here.
Yeah.
And one of the segment we go over is modification and scaling. So there's two different things there. And a lot of times you can use scaling as the umbrella term. So when I talk about modifications and when I modify a movement, when a program is written up with box jumps, I will modify by doing a box step up. If a workout comes in and you see pull-ups on there, I would say probably 85% of the people that come into our gym that are brand new cannot do a pull-up.
No.
Right? So what do? We have them start on maybe a ring row. Then we go into our box assisted. We're looking for the same muscle recruitment, okay, and probably just bring it back a little bit to where it meets you where you're at, body awareness wise and physical wise, right? So even if a workout is written up and has a full American kettlebell swing, we may modify by doing a Russian swing. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about scaling, that is also something that will meet you where you're at. If a workout is written up at 155 pounds on a deadlift, okay, let's scale that weight back a little bit, because if that's like 95% of what the most you've ever lifted on a bar, there's no way that's going to be what you're going to do for a metabolic conditioning workout.
Yeah, we're going to be standing there staring at the bar, and that's not going to be the intent of that workout.
No.
I can tell you that right now. Yeah.
And so coaches, huge responsibility to get to know every single person in that class. That's why, you're not married to any class, but it's great when you are a regular because they already know, okay, this person, I know what they're lifting on a thruster. Okay. I know it's written up as 95-65 today. Hey, I think 75-55 is a great option for, people that can hit the full range of motion on the movement. But as far as the weight, they're going to be staring a whole lot more than they're moving. And again, we're not going to hit that intensity. So
that's right.
So that's the definitions that I present when people are first joining our gym.
Yeah. Kind of difference in modification, scaling.
Yeah.
And I think something while you were talking about that was that first part is the mechanics. There's a charter in CrossFit: mechanics, consistency, intensity. We want to have mechanics down, crushing that before we even move in to trying to push that intensity too hard, because we can also scale intensity. We can scale back the length of workout. We can scale back how hard we're pushing, add a little bit of built-in rest if you're just starting out, things like that. And so it's really important that we have those good mechanics moving through those pull-ups, that function that you've been coming for a while, doing that thing. Okay, great. Let's bump that intensity up. Let's try a different scale now. Like, let's change it up and mix it up. And so, yeah, that's really important.
Something else I wanted to talk about is, say you come into a workout and it has some weights are kind of out of your grasp, right?
Yeah.
And wanted to speak to like the evolution of how where the sport is now. So when I first started back in the dark ages, when CrossFit started, it was typical for us to see like 95-65 as what the workouts were. And then, a year or two passed and now we're seeing 115-75. More time has passed, 135-95. More time has passed. Now it's like, people I think we had what the hang cleans last week was 155.
Yeah, it was heavy.
105 or 115 for the females. It's more to speak on where the sport's at, and a lot of times it really has nothing to do with you as an individual.
That's right.
It could be somewhat an arbitrary number for people, and I wouldn't get so wrapped up on what that number is. And listen to your coach, take that guidance, and like I said, they know how you're moving mechanically. If you're hitting the intensity level, cool, let's go. But if they see you on a warm-up set, it's be prepared for that feedback. That's why you come, right? So that you're giving that guidance on this is how we want you to move. This weight would probably be a better idea. And so we're all finishing at the same exact time, and when we leave at the end of the day, we feel the exact same way. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those weights, they're there as a guidance for like, here's how the intensity should feel. If you can move this weight there, great, here it is. Just makes it kind of easy instead of just saying, hey, today we're doing thrusters, everybody pick a weight. It kind of gives us that guidance. And so, we've seen it evolve as CrossFit, as people have gotten stronger and stronger. The times have gotten better. Those adaptations have been pushed and just crazy, right?
If you were here probably 2017, 2018 days, if you ever coached by Kyle Conrado, Kyle was known to physically take weights off of people's plates if they were not.
Heck
which, I haven't had to do that. Luckily, people take the guidance, but I mean, he cared a lot.
Yeah, he does. I think he still cares. He's not coaching for us, but he still cares. Yeah, for sure. And so don't be scared if a coach like comes over and is like, hey, maybe we go a little lighter today, or if they're like, hey, let's move a little heavier, because we can overscale. There are days that I've done that, like, I'm not feeling good, my shoulder's a little funny, let me scale back because of that injury aspect, and then I scaled way too much, like way under the target time, didn't get that stimulus. And so we can do that too, even if we're just scaling because of what we think our ability is. Sometimes we value ourselves a little bit less than we actually have. Like, we're stronger, more capable than we think we are sometimes. And if a coach comes to you and is like, hey, let's try a little bit more weight, do it in that warm-up set. Don't wait till the workout to try it. Let them see you move that weight, and then they'll confirm and be like, oh yeah, you got this. And then tell yourself you got this. So overscaling is a thing as well. I think one big thing I want everyone to take away from this is there's not a stigma with scaling. Like, it's not a bad thing. I all the time, like, hey, what was your time? And someone will be like, oh, I got a 5-minute Fran, but I scaled. And like, why'd you say but? Like, you did Fran in 5 minutes. Like, that's awesome. Who cares what the weight was? That's where you're at right now. Now, okay, the next time I can push my intensity harder, or I can add a little bit of weight and still be under that time cap of 7 minutes or whatever it might be. That butt needs to go away on all things. Like I all the time I look at people and I'm like, look, I'm gonna start making you do burpees every time you say butt, because there's no reason to say that. Like, what you can do is what you can do. Be proud of that. There's no shame in scaling. I actually want more people to scale more often, scale and move faster. That's kind of my target for most people.
Do what you can and log those scores.
Yes, log
put as much as you can in the notes, because how cool is that to be able to respect. So this is a great week, right? Obviously we're hitting some benchmark lifts. We're also hitting up some benchmark workouts, right? The Fran, we got to see Annie today. Leslie's actually been begging for us to hit up some Diane sometimes, which I know you're okay with.
I love Diane. Let's do it. I thought about putting that today, but we deadlifted. So
yeah. Well, give us a week or two. But no, that put as much notes as you can. That way, you know, I can go back, and luckily did the migration when we did, you know, came from Sugarwatt over. My stuff came over, and I can look to see. Oh, yeah. You can still, I still have the capacity to PR some stuff, or, you know, if you're brand new, or you're 6 months in a journey, or a year into this journey, how cool is it going to be to see, you know, where you've come? I think Alyssa yesterday on her Fran, I think yesterday, as long as she's been here, she's been with us, I think since 2018 maybe. And I think this was her first time actually being able to RX Fran. Right. And I was like, man, you know, it's not, it's exciting because you have that history and you've known, okay, I've done the first time I did this is the weight that I used. And I think for some people, even gain that full range of motion on that squat, okay, let's just do top Fran, where you're doing like a push press and, you know, a box assisted sit up. Just put as much amplifying information as you can so we can see the growth and everything's trending where it should be.
Yeah, every little thing is growth. Like that's so important. Log your stuff. Also, record yourself every now and then. Like you may be doing something, you're like, oh, I'm just a normal person. Let me just do the workout. I'm not gonna video yourself, because then you have that progress that you can look back on and be like, wow, like I used to look like that squatting and now I look like this. Like, heck yeah, that's the same weight. That's one thing I love about PR week, because people have videoed the earlier lifts and then they record again and you get to see that. Misty's been doing that. I always try to record people if I'm not coaching to help out with that, to be like, hey, here you go, you're gonna want this later. You're gonna want this later, I promise. But yeah, scaling is so important. I don't think I scale enough sometimes. There are days that I'm like, man, I really should have scaled this. I was on the top end of that target time, and if I had been able to push that intensity a little bit more, I stood and looked at that bar way too long. One big way to scale that I think I forget about a lot is that we can scale the reps. We might be doing Fran, and we're doing, or let's take Diane. I think it's a little different. 21, 15, 9 of deadlift, guys 225, ladies is 155. Handstand push-ups, they can be kipping, strict, whatever. Maybe your deadlift is strong, that 225, that 155 is nothing. Do that 21, 15, 9 there, but your handstand push-ups, you're working on that, let's do 15, 12, 9. We can scale the number as well. We don't have to scale the entire movement. If it's something you're working on, scale the reps down, because you can still hit that intensity. You can still work on that movement, especially those gymnastic movements, which we're going to talk a little bit about, like why do we do high skill gymnastics and stuff. But we can work on those movements while scaling still without changing the movement completely. If we're really, really close, we just don't have that volume of that movement yet. I think that's something I forget about as a coach even. Sometimes people will come and be like, hey, I'm going to scale this. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then afterwards, I'm like, dang it, I should have had them scale the reps, because they have pull-ups or they have handstand push-ups, just not to 21, 15, 9 level of it. And so that's something I'm working on as a coach and as an athlete as well, to scale those reps every now and then. So
I remember one time I did scale. This was I think we hit a wall walk workout.
Oh yeah.
And I had a bad elbow injury. So what I did is I walked as close as I could to the wall, but didn't quite make it to that 10 inches as close as I could, just to be mindful of it, because I couldn't. It's not like I could neglect or wanted to neglect the movement completely. I wanted to still work to strengthen that elbow, but I couldn't quite get that angle in or weight bear as much as I should for that shoulder. So still was able to modify a bit and did what I could on my wall walk. So actually coming to that place in the wall. So I love, it's a love-hate thing with wall walks, but there's so many different ways, with the inchworms, the elevated with the box assist
really love that one,
inchworm.
yeah.
So you can still get some wins without, getting the full of whatever the intent that movement is. So
yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, big thing on those. Be consistent, scale. If we're injured, if we're beginning, don't be scared to scale. It's good. We all started out scaling.
Yeah.
We all started out scaling. PVC pipe Fran is still Fran. If you've never done that, like, that'll kick your butt, because you can move through that if you've been doing it for a while. But yeah, and with that, we have gymnastic stuff, and that's a lot of what we do in here. So why do we attack high skill gymnastics? Like, what is that about? Like, I love it, but like, why?
I believe high skill gymnastic movement. So say that a workout is programmed that has a ring muscle up. The way I present it to the class, is like, hey guys, whether you have any intent of ever finding yourself at the top of those rings, we are going to go through the progressions, right? Taking a look at the 10 general physical skills, as we're building that body awareness, we're still trying to grow in all 10 of those movements. So you're going to get the same exact stimulus. We're going to find a way to meet you, whether your feet are on a box and you're on some low rings or your feet are on the ground. It's good for you to know how you're going to progress in that way. Again, like I said, you may never have any intention of being inverted or walking on your hands. We're still going to show you a way for you to get the intention of what that movement is, so that you're growing in your body control and in those gymnastics, because we're not going to neglect as far as your growth and longevity within the sport.
Gymnastics
methodology.
It's a sport. We compete in here. That's why we have a leaderboard. It's fun. And the gymnastics, they're in the 100 words of fitness, doing those. The one I think that's kind of interesting in there is the flips. We don't really do flips in here. But yeah, they're in those 100 words of fitness. And if you haven't read those, we'll post those and have you read those. We should all have those memorized. I've got there, but I don't know if I could do it right now. That'd be kind of embarrassing if I went for it and then didn't get it. But yeah, they're in the 100 words of fitness, and I think they teach us something about ourselves. It challenges us, right? Like I've said, and I'll say again, we do hard things in these walls so we can handle hard stuff outside of the walls. And that's something hard. Like so many people, when we're doing handstand progression day, it's like, I'm scared. I'm like, okay, that's great.
That's one of my favorite things. If somebody is like, I've never tried to go upside down. It's one of my favorite things to, all right, let's just put your hands on the ground and we're just going to little kick up. And it's cool to see like the confidence build. And seeing something, I can actually support my body. I'm probably not making it to the wall yet, but each day or each time you visit that skill, they get a little bit better and a little more confident. It's one of my favorite things to do, to start somebody from scratch.
Oh, it's so fun. I love gymnastics. Anytime we're doing it, I could just do gymnastic stuff all week. We don't even have to have a barbell. But yeah, it's so great to watch that progression and learn that we can do things, like, and then teach ourselves how to shut the brain off when we're scared of something. Like, okay, I am scared to get upside down, but I've got these coaches, I've got these people with me teaching me how to progress slowly. We just slowly chip away until that fear is still maybe there, but it's not as large and stops us. It doesn't prevent us from doing those things. So high skill gymnastics, it's great stuff. It's fun, especially once you start getting the things and you start feeling good about it and stuff. So I think we could talk all day about scaling and how to scale different movements. I think the biggest thing is scale. Don't be scared to scale. If you're new, like, don't be scared to ask the coach if they don't approach you before you ask them about how you should adjust something. Our coaches know if you've been around for a little bit, know if you've got injuries and things like that, and should ask or approach you before you even think about it, to be like, hey, I think this is a good way to do this today. And if they don't, that's okay. Ask them. There's no shame in asking. It's a little intimidating when you're brand new, but once you build that rapport with the coach, it's a lot easier. And then injuries, y'all are already scaling. I think the worst thing to do when you're injured is just sit and do nothing. We should get in and move safely where there's not pain. Find a way to do that, and then find that stimulus.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think we should do this one week, maybe a couple weeks where when we're logging the scores, instead of being able to click RX just because we did the weight and the movement, we can only click RX if we're in the target time.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So be looking for that in a few weeks. We're gonna take your RX away if you don't hit this target time, because that's what we want you focused on. If you're in my class, I don't even tell you the time caps. People get annoyed. Usually the later classes are like, oh, it's this time because it's already logged in the app. But I tell you only the target time because that's what I care about you focusing on.
Yeah.
That stimulus is what I want. I don't want you staring at the bar for 5 minutes longer because the time cap's 15 minutes. I want you to finish in 7. So when I say that and kind of grin at you, know that that's why. And I think it's helped a lot of people learn how to scale for that
Yeah.
stimulus. Teaches them that number on the board about that weight doesn't matter as much. So yeah.
So again, our goals here as coaches, right? We have people that were collegiate athletes. We have people that are brand new to doing workouts. What we're trying to do here is, again, when we get done with this hour, everybody feels the same exact way as they're walking to their vehicle at the end. Okay, we push the same amount, right? We all feel the same exact way. We put ourselves through the same exact, same muscle recruitments.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Same heart rates, and great job. Do it again tomorrow.
So scale. Don't say but anymore when you're telling somebody you did something.
Yeah.
But I scale. Don't say that. Yeah. So we got some stuff coming up. Whitetail Nighttails registration starts on Monday, April 8th.
Already.
So be looking out for that. We're gonna try. If you were waitlisted last year, if you're listening to this, you should get contact from Drew if you're interested in signing up, because we're gonna try to let you get signed up first, because it is limited spots. But we want y'all to be able to participate, so you kind of have first dibs.
Yeah.
Might do a little pre-register with them, and then we'll post that on Monday for everyone else to sign up. That is internal comp, so if you're listening and you're not a member here at Grand Mesa, come and sign up, join us, and then you can sign up for Whitetail Nighttails.
Yeah. But some of y'all have been asking for more of a team competition. Our buddies over at Voodoo CrossFit have Mardi Gras coming up. That is 3 males, 3 female teams. They've already started releasing the workouts. It's going to be at their brand new facility.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Awesome.
Scott's a really old buddy of mine. He started CrossFit before I did, I'm pretty sure. But he's really easy to spot. He's got huge dreadlocks, and
awesome guy.
They had really great guy. If you're looking for a team and local comp, 3 guys, 3 girls, he always does a great job. Probably see food trucks. They bring the Mardi Gras vibe. They have, I think, a king cake as part of
for the winners.
The winners. They probably will do those skateboard trophies again. So
yeah, I think I saw that every team that signs up gets a skateboard deck with everybody's name on it. Just one skateboard deck. You don't all get one.
No,
that's pretty cool. We need to get those hung up.
I know.
In
case y'all don't know, we won that competition before. So yeah, inaugural year.
That's awesome. Yes. I'm trying to think of other comps coming up, but I'm sure there's more out there. We'll be better about telling you
BCS
about that.
qualifiers starting also. Yeah. I know Josh has already signed. I think pretty signed up.
I haven't signed up yet because we're working on team names. If you got team names for me and my buddy Dalton, let us know. I was about to get on ChatGPT to request names because my creativity is not working this week. So
qualifiers will be coming up, but the competition itself is not till August, right?
Yeah. It's in August. Qualifiers like June, July-ish, and they're fun. They're good workouts. They're programmed by Rich Froning. And the qualifier, if you're like, I don't know if I'll make it, I'm worried about that, sign up anyway, because all of that money goes to Mayhem Mission, all of it, 100% of the qualifier money, and it's $40 for a team, so it's 20 per person, that's easy, and then they go and do mission with it. Heck yeah, I'm all about that. So they're really good workouts. Last year was fun. Really enjoyed those. So that's coming up. Quarterfinals are coming. Yeah. Get signed up.
Those invites have already been sent out to everybody that made it. So Kelly's excited.
Yes, I'm excited. I signed up before I got my invite, funny enough. And the open, I don't know if I also was on there trying to sign up, and I got a notification this isn't open yet. So I don't know if y'all know, I love CrossFit and I love competition. So if you're looking for competition, let me know. I'll probably sign up on your team unless something's else is going on.
If there's a master's category, more likely I will. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Good stuff. I'm really excited for what's coming up. Excited to watch y'all scale in the gym.
Great job this week, guys.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I still just living off the energy in this place this week. haven't done any work that I need to do because I'm just like out here in class.
I know.
All right, who's lifting? Let's yell about it. Let's have some fun. So, yeah, until next week, this is Talk Fit.
All right. Thanks,
See ya.
guys.